Well, we're starting week 15 and you're going to be doing another Python program. This Python program is going to use something called a for loop, so we can repeat the program to provide input data for more than one car. The previous program, all you had to do was input the information for one car and then printed it out. So this time we're going to do a repetition. And in order to do that, we have to have some way of repeating the statements, and that's how the for loop comes in. So you're going to use a for loop as well as doing a total for all of the cars. So let's take a look at that. Here we're going to use a flowchart to identify all the steps in the program. Kind of gives us a pictorial view of what happens step by step. So you can see the flowchart symbols which are in your module, and you can take a look at those later in more detail, but each one represents a different kind of function. I'm going to scroll down here and let you take a look and see what the flowchart looks like. So you can see in this one, we're starting out, we're going to print some report titles, we're going to initialize our variables. You've done that in the previous program. Then I have a little connector loop there with a 1 in it. And then the next thing, it says to do the input, and we input the same things we did before. And then the step F, we're going to calculate our total miles like we did before. And then in G, we're going to get miles per gallon. The new step is step H, where it says MPG accumulator equals MPG accumulator plus miles per gallon. Just like we did in the previous program, we're going to test miles per gallon to see if it's greater than 30. And you can see here where the flowchart has a diamond for the decision, and it has two possible answers, yes or no. If it's yes, it has 30 or more miles per gallon, we're going to set the car message to yes. If the answer is no, we're going to set car message to no. And then the flowchart goes back into the main stream. And then you're going to see the standard print that you used previously, which was to print the car type, total miles, and so on. Next, it says add 1 to the total. That's not actually going to be something you write, but that's going to be part of the for statement. And it's a way that you can accumulate or at least repeat a program. Think of standing at a door at an event and saying that you're going to count up to 50 people and then stop letting people in the door. That's kind of what a counter is. So we add 1 to the car total, and the next thing we do is we test the car total to see if it's equal to 3. And if it's not, we go back all the way to the top of the program and repeat it. If car total is equal to 3, we find the average miles per gallon for the fleet, we print that, and we stop the program. Okay, so I've loaded the tutorial 3, the complete program, so you can take a look at it here. Starting at the top, you notice that we initialize variables just like you've done in the past. And then we have some new variables that we're initializing. One is the car count, because we have to keep track of the number of cars that we process. And we have an average miles per gallon. This is the total at the end that's going to let us know what the fleet average was. And then we've got an accumulator for total gallons, and then we have a miles per gallon accumulator. So those are the new variables in the program. You're printing your name and a title again, and then we start some code. So here's the new part of the program that was not in tutorial 2. Notice that we've got a statement for car count and range of 3. This is the for statement. Car count's a variable. Range is the 0 to 3 that we want to go to. And below that is what's going to be inside what we call the program loop. So everything that's in the loop has to be spaced in. You can see that I've spaced it in 2 spaces here. So just like we did in the previous program, we're going to set the car type input, start miles, end miles, and gallons used. We're going to do the same calculation we did before. Total miles equals end miles minus start miles, and we're going to get the miles per gallon. But the next one down here is we're going to accumulate a total. So we're doing total gallons equals gallons used plus total gallons. So this is the accumulator. And when you accumulate a total in Python, you have to have the accumulator variable on one side and repeat it over here in the calculation. So that provides our running total. Then we have our if statement, just like you did before. If miles per gallon is greater than 30, car message is yes, else it's no. Now notice that the if and the else are spaced in to show that they're inside the loop. And the car message is spaced inside the. Alright, so after we have the if statement, we're going to continue on and print what we have in the past. We're going to print the make of the car, the total miles, the miles per gallon, and whether it's an economy rental. That's the end of the loop. And so you notice as I come down here to where it says print summary report, those variables are at the left margin, which keeps them outside of the loop. So that loop will repeat itself 3 times. And once it has completed the 3 repetitions, it'll come in what we call fall through. and it will then do the next statement. Here its average miles per gallon is equal to the MPG accumulator divided by 3, and then we're going to print out the fleet average, round it out. So here's a new kind of function that you can use in Python. It's called the round function. And you have the round function, and then you have a left paren, then you have a variable, a comma, and what you want it rounded to. So I'm saying round off the average miles per gallon to 1 decimal point. So that's the end of the program. Hope this helps out, and you can go ahead and start on tutorial 3 and be successful.